Good evening. Hope everybody's been doing well. I want to start out by thanking the veterans out there, but I want to take it a step further. I would ask if you have the opportunity to possibly take a veteran that's down on their luck out to lunch. You know? And I'm talking about a seriously disadvantaged veteran. I would ask you, if you want to truly thank a veteran, find one of those fine folks and take them out to lunch. Maybe give them an ear to listen to. Very importantly, ask them if they might need anything to be able to get by through this winter. And, fight for their humane treatment. Because there is a lot of homeless veterans. And it's a horrible situation that they are in. And the sad thing is, let's say you help them get something. Let's say they don't have much of anything. Let's say you help them get a tent and a sleeping bag and maybe, some nice warm socks. They're probably going to lose most of that stuff in short order because the city, when they remove them from one area to another, is going to throw the most of it in a garbage truck. So when I say fight for more humane treatment, not taking what little bit of shelter and personal items they have to discourage them from trying to exist would be a good start. So if you want to thank a veteran, seriously, thank a veteran. But the symbolism stuff, that's all it is. So, again, if you've got that opportunity, I would ask that you do that. Got a lot of news. It's been another absolutely crazy day with the news. The Rittenhouse trial was absolutely crazy. I watched the large majority of it today. The prosecutor continued to mount just absolutely insane arguments and objections, and I mean, it was just ridiculous. I don't even understand the point of, well, I didn't yesterday, the point of a lot of his questioning. It just wasn't there. It's like he wasn't even going anywhere with anything. It's almost like he was just trying to fill time. And for what? I don't know. So, the defense has rested. And I'm not sure when all this is going to shake out. When I tuned out, they were having a discussion as to, and I thought they had pretty well decided that they were just going to pick up Monday. But that's when I tuned out. I don't know if that was the definite, the final answer or what. But from my understanding, they were going to pick up Monday. They were going to do, I guess, instruction, to the jury. I don't, know all this stuff very well, but and closing arguments, and I guess go from there. So we shall see. But I just I found it amazing, the prosecution's behavior once again. I mean, he was pretty far out of line today too. I don't know that he quite crossed the line as bad as yesterday, though, but... And the judge didn't get upset as he did yesterday either. like I said, I've got a lot of stories, a lot of articles, I should say, up here for you. I was going to go over those. Now I was going to get the headlines out and get the heck out of here for the week from there. As always, I will give you my opinion on how I feel things are going to go, and I'll go ahead and do that now before I get into the other stuff. I think tomorrow is going to be a doozy, and I mean a big doozy. In which way, I don't know, but I have a distinct feeling tomorrow's going to be a doozy, and I have a feeling that this weekend's going to be a pretty interesting weekend as well. And then I do not see things letting up for next week. I told you at the beginning, towards the beginning of the month, that I couldn't really kind of get a feel that far ahead, but now that we're there, now that I've watched different things kind of come together, I think more things are going to be coming together over the course of tomorrow and the weekend. And I think that stuff will play out into next week. And I know it's like, duh, Captain Obvious. But my point being is I'm talking about very significant things. And again, these are gut feelings. I can't sit here and tell you because I don't know what it is. But I've been pretty accurate on this, and you can go back through the shows and you can watch. I don't know. I don't know how I can call this stuff. I just can. So keep an eye out tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think, is it's going to be a doozy. Do got some interesting stuff. Wow. You have a sip, and we'll get in it. Alright, first up, I just want to get this article out of the way. Biden's at it again. Wow. This is unbelievable. Unbelievable. RT reporting fact checkers rush to explain how Biden didn't mean to call Satchel Paige the Great Negro. And it's pretty unmistakable. Here you go. Oh, you might want some audio with that. No.
I've adopted the attitude of the great Negro at the time, pitcher in the Negro Leagues, went on to become a great pitcher in the pros, into the Major League Baseball after Jackie Robinson. His name was Satchel Paige.
And I like mint chocolate chip ice cream, and I like it when the nurse puts me to bed. Oh, sorry. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. Hell, at this point, I think it's almost inhumane to make him keep getting in front of, to get all dressed up snazzy and make him get in front of a camera. I mean, if people can't see that there's definite cognitive issues going on there, I don't know what to say. It's not just rhetoric. It's not just banter. There is something going on there. Okay. Now we're going to really shift gears. And we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on in the world with COVID. And not COVID per se, but the things they're using COVID as an excuse to do. Can we call it that? And right out of the gate, it's absolutely nuts. Austria is days away from imposing lockdown for the unvaccinated. The unvaccinated, not the vaccinated. Well, not everybody, but just the unvaccinated. Now, you remember, and I'm not going to sit here and go through it because Google and YouTube get all upset and get all ruffled and everything. when I speak facts. But you know, and I know, and we know that this makes no sense because of what you know and I know. You know? Absolutely nuts. But Austria, apparently, they're going to start imposing lockdowns for the unvaccinated. Russia is intending to make COVID vaccination QR codes compulsory for use of public transport. Now, I do expect that to come to this country as well. In fact, I'm actually kind of shocked it's not here yet. Believe me, they're going to link together your real ID with your COVID-19 QR code. And that's going to be all linked, and you're going to have that to travel, whether it's train, plane, bus. It's not going to matter. And when I say car, automobile, I will bet you that at some point in the not super far distant future, you will see state line checkpoints. And you will have to go through a checkpoint to go from one state to another. We'll see. I thought this was extremely interesting. Israel kicks off COVID War Games. COVID War Games. Now this we're going to dive into a little bit more. It says Israel has launched a national drill in a war games format to assess its preparedness for an outbreak of a potential unknown new strain of COVID-19. The simulation, dubbed the Omega Drill, was announced by Twitter by Prime Minister, and we're going to get back to that, Naftali Bennett on Wednesday. Bennett has regularly referred to the Omega strain to describe the next viral mutation that has yet to be discovered, which kind of somewhat says what I want to say. The next drill would be led by Israel's civil defense minister at his situation room in the National Management Center in Jerusalem. The exercise will put the country's institutions and government agencies through their paces to see if they would be able to cope in the face of the new lethal COVID-19 variant. Praised as a world first by Bennett's office, the games will look at preparedness for future restrictions on gatherings and movement, quarantine and lockdown policies, as well as testing, oversight, and warnings to be issued as a new variant develops. The drill will also test hospitals' responses as well as preparedness in other sectors. While in some places in the world the coronavirus situation is deteriorating, Israel is safe and secure, Bennett said, as quoted by the Jerusalem Post. To maintain this and to continue our daily routines, we must keep our finger on the pulse and prepare for any scenario. The PM praised Israel's response to the pandemic, proclaiming that the state is in excellent shape, having beaten its fourth wave of infections, adding that it is on the verge of leaving the Delta variant behind. Israel became one of the first countries to roll out a booster vaccine scheme in the summer, starting with its older population and working down through its other age groups. Bennett praised the scheme, proclaiming that Israel was a pioneer of the third dose against COVID. Which is interesting, and again, I'm not going to get into the details of it. I'll urge you to go look into it. The numbers that Israel had during the particular time period they're referring to was jaw-dropping. So I'll let you do the math on that. The Omega Drill, huh? The next strain, huh? I think it's already a certainty that it's going to happen. I do believe, and I have no doubt, we're about to see the deadliest strain come out. But I'm going to leave that at that. I'm just going to leave that at that. But yeah, I would agree. We're about to see a much more deadly strain. Yep. Science, All this, by the way, remember we're ramping up here in the United States our vaccination programs now for children. Taiwan suspends second doses of Pfizer for teens over health risk. You don't say. Interesting. Taiwan health authorities have suspended administering of second doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID vaccine for children aged between 12 and 17, citing concerns about an increased risk of heart inflammation. Now, may I 5 to 11-year-olds. A panel of experts made the decision to cease giving the jab to teens on Wednesday, pending further review, according to the country's Central Epidemic Command Center and head Chen Shi-chung. The health authority opted to call a halt to the second jab due to concerns about an increased risk of myocarditis, inflammation of the heart muscle, and pericarditis, and I'm sure I'm saying them wrong, inflammation of the heart's outer lining. The Ministry of Health and Welfare Advisory Committee for Immunization Practices said it was suspending giving second doses of the inoculation to 12 to 17-year-olds for a 2-week period. During that time, experts from the country's Center for Disease Control will examine the 16 reported myocarditis, I know I'm saying it wrong, sorry, cases among Taiwanese teens who received the jab. So, and then EMA calls for a review of the Moderna jab. Yep. European Medicines Agency has asked for an in-depth review of all data linked to heart inflammation disorders following inoculation with the Moderna's COVID jab. Now remember, the last article was Pfizer, okay? After several countries suspended or advised against its use. In a safety update published on Thursday, the EMA revealed that its risk assessment committee is evaluating further data on the risk of myocarditis and pericarditis following a vaccination with Spikevax. Incidences of the two inflammatory disorders have previously been analyzed after reports of the conditions cropped up across Europe. The first review ended in July 2021, resulting in the drug regulator recommending that both conditions be added to the side effects of the Moderna jab. And by the way, we just gave the green light for 5 to 11-year-olds. This is insane. This is insane. I don't know. I'm literally speechless because there's things I want to say and no, I can't. I can't. Protect your kids. Protect your kids. Protect your loved ones. Protect your freedom of choice. With everything you have. Like I say, there is so much I want to say. But I can't. Meanwhile, in New York City, and we shouldn't be surprised with anything from New York City, but BLM leader threatens New York City mayor with fire and bloodshed. Apparently, this is the threat if the mayor brings back a the anti-crime unit, supposedly plainclothes officers. So I don't know all the details, but I do know that making statements like that is probably not a good idea, but I've got questions. Because I've heard ever since January 6th of last year about this massive uprising, this unbelievable insurrection, while the riots and the destruction and the mayhem that went on for months upon months upon months before that were mostly peaceful. When can we call true terrorism domestic terrorism? When can we call it domestic terrorism? Because that's what this is, by definition. But oh no, we want to label concerned parents that goes to school board meetings to address the school board about the things that they're being taught or the ways they're being taught or the people that are being allowed in the bathrooms with their daughters. They're labeled domestic terrorists. But these folks that not only threaten fire and bloodshed but have proven to do it are mostly peaceful. I'm trying to make sense of any of the damn news that I've covered tonight, and I can't. Absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. I do have a couple of stories from across the pond. Escalating situation that I think we might want to watch closely. I shudder to think that this situation could be what it is that my gut feeling is picking up on. But it's absolutely not out of the realm of possibilities. This headline here, as you see, Belarus's Lukashenko threatens to cut off gas to Western Europe. Now this is the last that I know of from him as far as the rift that's going on there. Now I'm gonna tell you how I understand this to be going on. I don't know for certain. I haven't really dug into it. As you know, there are tons of migrants at the Polish border. And we all know that that's a matter of fact. Now, exactly how they are getting there, kind of like how all the migrants are getting to the southern U.S. border. Yeah, same questions. How the hell are they getting there? I mean, how nice is the motor coach bus, They all get first class on the jet? I'm just curious. But there is speculation, or there is talk, that maybe somehow, in some way, Russia's helping them achieve this. I don't have any idea if that's true. At all. But this situation is getting pretty serious between Poland and Belarus right now. And now it's at the point to where Lukashenko is threatening to cut off the gas to Western Europe. Now, that's fighting words. When you're talking about cutting off resources like that, especially right now heading into winter, those are fighting words. So we could most certainly see something spark off here. I mean, there's a damn good chance that something's going to spark off here. And what kind of concerns me, and also in my opinion, at least on some level, proves the backing of Russia to Belarus, is this article here. Russian nuclear-capable bombers fly over Belarus. Now, there's a reason they're doing that. I'm sure you've all heard it before. Show of force. Isn't that interesting? They decided to pick Belarus at this particular time to show their force. So keep an eye on this. Keep a very, very, very close eye on this, because this could be what I'm picking up on. I don't know. If I did, I would tell you. But it's something to definitely, like I say, keep an eye on. Keep doing as you've been doing. Keep getting ready. Keep prepping. You know, use your time and money wisely right now. Prioritize. Most certainly. That's about all you can do. That's what we're doing. I mean, as soon as we can, we'll get the rest of the well, still got to get another sleeping bag. Still got to get another Wooby poncho liner thing and another poncho. And then I can work on getting the heater. So, but that's where we're at. I mean, we're still stuck in the same place. It's just the way it is. But keep at it. No matter what it is that you can do, keep at it. You know. And if there's things that you need you can't get yet, well, at least you could go online. You could learn how to do something new. Oh, I wanted to say something. I forgot I was going to mention this at the top of the show. The other night on the show, I talked about going out there and practicing lighting fires. And if you haven't done it, I highly recommend you do it. Please. Because that is a skill that you will have to have. It's not a maybe. And sometimes conditions aren't always great. But anyway, when I did the show, I pulled this out of my pocket. I tried lighting it, and it wouldn't light like it won't light now. There it goes. It won't light now because it's actually really wet. I filled it. I was just showing you. I did fill that. But more importantly, and this is the big point that I want to make. Here I have the slider, and before I'm done talking, I will show you guys where you can get one of these. As long as they've got them in stock. I can't guarantee that. We'll find out together. But even though I had the slider in my pocket that is, designed not to let the fluid leak out or evaporate, when I went to show you the other night on the show, this slider, it was bone dry. Bone dry, and I don't use it. And so, I filled it, showed it to you again tonight. But I want to emphasize that had that been my only way to light a fire in nasty conditions, I would have failed. Plain and simple. what I want to point out to you, and as I somewhat pointed out that night, that empty lighter could have been filled with that tank full of fuel that's on the same keychain as the lighter. So not only did I have more fuel to back me up, but I also showed you that on my keychain I've got a ferro rod and a striker. Make sure you've got multiple ways to light a fire. I would even say on you at all times. And make sure you're proficient in doing so. So I told you I would show you. Let's see here. countycom.com. You see the spelling of it up there. countycom.com. Quit it. No thanks. I don't like free offers. Lights. Do they have lighters still? Do. Hang on. Fire. Titanium. I probably need to order me a few service packs. Oh no, don't tell me they don't have any. Oh, that sucks. They got the titanium. That's all I'm seeing is the titanium. Oops. And here I opened it in another window. Yeah, the titanium, the only size I show that they have is peanut for $44.50. Yeah. There's other, I'm going to just be real honest with you here. There's other brands out there. Go find another brand that isn't, $40, $50. I know they're out there. So, just being real honest with you. Unless you really gotta have a titanium unit, I'm not seeing. I was just making sure I wasn't missing anything, so does not appear so. Anyway, they might get them back in. I have no idea if they have plans to get them back in stock or not. But they were called, it was a Peanut XL, and mine's made out of anodized aluminum. It's not titanium or nothing. They've had them in brass, and they've had them in multiple different things, but the cheaper ones are made out of aluminum, and I love mine. I absolutely love mine. I don't know if they're going to get them back or not, so thought I would give you the tip if so, but sorry. I didn't know if they'd have them in stock or not. Headphones make my ears itch. Drives me crazy. Alright, let me have a sip of coffee and we'll get to some headlines and I'll get the hell out of here for the week. Kind of debating making something to eat. I'm kind of hungry. Having one of those hunger days. Alright. Got one from last night here. Boeing promises fair compensations to 737 MAX crash victims' families. Alright, and now the news I put out this morning. U.S. federal judge overturns Texas ban on school mask mandates. EU could make use of Ukraine and migrant standoff at Polish border, says German MP. Berlin updates COVID rules on who can visit public places. I didn't think to put that in the thing, huh? A U.S. diplomat flees after hit and run, hides at a military base, says police. That happened in Seoul, by the way. Stocks gains for Tesla. Let's see. Despite Musk not following advice of Twitter followers. Russia issues warning to the U.S. over Ukraine. Russia planning retaliation of EU sanctions national airline over Belarus border crisis. See, I mean, the whole situation is really starting to blow up. Israel will be destroyed if it makes any mistakes with us, Iran warns. BRICS nations raise trade to pre-COVID highs. Turkey invites Poland to come and see it's not sending migrants to the border with Belarus. China warns against Cold War mentality and ideological lines in Asia Pacific. U.S. to deploy cyber marines on future battlefields. And just goes to show you, as I keep saying, the most effective individuals on this future battlefield, and I'm not just talking about between countries, will be those that know how to technologically stop the threat. And I'm just going to leave it at that. I better just leave it at that. Apple makes sure you don't take iCloud data to the grave. Migrants on Belarus-Poland border could be getting guns from the Ukraine, the latest Lukashenko claim. Russia sells more vodka, buys more tea and coffee, says customs data. New chief of Pegasus spyware firm quits after 2 weeks. China's new military toy might dominate the Pacific, analysts warn. And I keep trying to tell folks, there's an issue in this country where people want to just run around and beat their chest and they've got a tin pot navy. Yeah. I guess if you like symbolism and just want to feel good, that works. But these are U.S. experts that are using intelligence that they gather, which I know government and intelligence don't mix, but they're using data that they have gathered about what China is doing and the equipment that they are building. And I'm pretty sure they probably know whether or not they should be concerned. They are showing concern. I think that's notable. France defends Russia in Belarus border row. Talked about that. COVID-19 panel advises first lockdown in Western Europe since summer. Believe me, I didn't share all the COVID headlines with you, not even close. Japanese plan to invade USSR revealed. An old plan, not like something that's supposed to happen next week or nothing, don't worry. Russia comments on allegations of its involvement in migrant crisis on Belarus-Poland border. Let's see. Latvia warns that NATO could be brought in to defend EU's border with Belarus. Fashion icon Tom Ford says cancel culture restricts creativity. And you know, right, he's going to get canceled for saying that. Germany says nuclear energy will set back turning EU green. Well, yeah, I mean, maybe. I mean, depends. If you look at it at night when it's glowing, it'll look green. EU predicts when high energy prices will decrease. Russia set to make COVID-19 vaccination QR codes compulsory for use of public transport. Sorry, I repeated that headline. We covered that. Electric car startup rolls out second largest U.S. IPO after Facebook. Let's see. Talked about that one. Putin offers Merkel way to solve Belarus border migrant crisis. AI menace. Rittenhouse judge bans video playback on iPads. Covered that one. Hezbollah rejects Saudi pressure in Yemen comments row. Pegasus-style spyware found on thousands of smartphones. I couldn't resist myself. FDA recalls millions of COVID test kits over false results. EMA greenlights new COVID treatments. You know, the same EMA that is, yeah, isn't that interesting how that works? COVID vaccine mandate has human cost on care sector. That's from the National Care Forum. LGBT staff quitting BBC over hostile environment, says reports. Covered that headline. Sparks fly between EU and Trump envoy over Kosovo border stunt. Israel holds first Navy drills with frenemies from the Persian Gulf. Jordan Peterson hammers totalitarian COVID rules. Death toll grows in Astroworld Festival stampede. Apparently a 22-year-old young lady had lost her battle. So that makes the total of 9 now. Talked about that. U.S. Embassy in Yemen raided. Staffers held hostage. Austria is days away from imposing I covered that one, sorry. Covered that one. UK caves and allows Assange to get married in jail. Congratulations, Mr. Assange. Massive Polish march that used loophole to bypass COVID ban with government help. Wow, that's all of them. Are you kidding me? Man, I must have just rattled through those, huh? Fun times. Telling ya, I think things are gonna turn really quick. I just got that feeling. I mean, not that they're doing real good now, but we'll see. We will see. Anyway, I'm going to take my getting done quickly to my advantage, and I think I might go in there and make me a chili dog. Yeah, sounds like a chili dog night. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here, and God willing, we'll be back Sunday. I'm sure I'll probably be putting out some reports tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So, hope you all have a great weekend. Hope you have a great Shabbat. We will see you Sunday night. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.